Oh, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Wilbur Conley, the young square that works for us. We threw some of that.
His request, this is Catherine Flower. She wants to know the name of that toe tapper we played back on Monday, the 19th of March. We'll have to check on that. We'll let you know, ma'am. I forget myself, but we have a record of it somewhere.
Yeah.
And this old postcard from Port Washington.
That's great.
This must date back to about 1924-25. Corner of Main Street and Shore Road in Port Washington from, I can't quite make it out, Jack O'Turber, is it? But anyway, that's a real collector's item, that postcard.
I guess you might want to live there. They've got electricity in now and
that's my neck of the woods out there, you know.
Right. Mrs. Holder here in New York wanted to know if we could play Footsteps on the Porch. That was a great...
Footsteps on the porch each night.
Great Helene J. Snyder hit that we made famous some years back. Oh, we made her famous some years back. I don't know whether we could find that. We'll look for it.
Note from the Ms. Gottenberg in Livingston, New Jersey. It's very kind of her to write and say those nice words. Well, we want to do thank you for all the nice mail we've been receiving since we came back here to WOR just 2 weeks ago.
We'll try to answer them as soon as they let us.
Very nice to know that people listen and appreciate it.
Hi, Mary. Yes, it is.
I saw one card where a chap said he arrives home a little happier now after being in all the traffic on the Long Island Expressway.
That's good.
Well, that's a good idea. You know, it's better to have some company on the radio than be just sitting there pounding the dashboard.
And I saw one the other day that I couldn't believe it. The lady said that her husband spends sometimes 3 hours getting from the city to home.
That is a grind, and you can get on that expressway and really spend some time there. You get to know your neighbor in the next car.
We'll try to be your company if you stick with us here at Radio New York, and we'll stick with Radio New York.
It looks good for the whole weekend, as a matter of fact. So that's pleasant.
Chester Hasbrook Frisbee, author of Mary Backstayge.
Well, you don't always have to refer to me as Chester Hasbrook Frisbee.
Can you give us a little inkling of where the story, what direction the story's going to take in the next few days? They're going to Seattle, I guess.
Well, this is Friday, and you always have to establish some sort of what we call a cliffhanger.
They always did that, didn't they, in radio? I
bring the listeners back on Monday.
I remember listening as well.
So let me just say that we will have a cliffhanger in today's episode.
Something that will make people so anxious to find out what happens and how it will affect the lives of their friends.
Wonderful
as written by you,
device.
Chester Hasbrook Frisbee, that they will tune in on Monday. All right. Right here, it's 8 minutes before 4 o'clock.
With Bob over there, Ray over here, and isn't it a lovely day? Isn't it just wonderful here in New York?
Like a very big studio.
Well, it is fairly good size. It's linoleum.
Desk.
It's linoleum from Naugahyde covering on some of the chairs. Isn't it? I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. Oh, it isn't. Thank you. It's kind of cloth.
Doesn't require any applause, audience.
It's easily maintained. That's the secret. That's the kind of furniture
Isn't that the secret of anything today?
Sure, absolutely.
Rounded baseboards and anything to say. I know it's helped me in my dusting immeasurably.
Right.
My mopping.
And I hope everything is all right with you. A little later, we'll be having our first contact with George Meade up on helicopter 710 a little later. Sam DeLuca will be along in about a half hour with all the latest sports news.
And our special guest of the day is the word wizard, Dr. Elmer Stapley, who will be making his first appearance in the next 20 minutes or so.
And the Backstages will be along in a few minutes with the Friday cliffhanger episode of for the weekend.
Yes, isn't that right? Chester Hasbrook Frisbee, author of the Backstage.
That's right. I just want to remind the engineering department to get out the old soft shoe, because in today's episode, Pop is going to dance.
Again?
Right.
Okay. Well, that's about it then, folks. You know what it's going to amount to. It's up to you. Do you stay with us? Is it a winner or a loser?
It's a winner.
Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway.
Today...
Stuck. They're stuck. Now they're broken. Sorry. Go ahead.
Today, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are preparing to leave New York for their trip to the West Coast and the opening of Westchester Furioso. And at the Backstage summer home in Skunk Haven, we hear Mary say,
Anybody want some cocoa? I just made a big pot.
"No, I don't believe so."
Anybody?
Now I can hear you better, Mary.
Anybody would like a pitcher full of Manhattans?
Hey.
What are you talking about?
Hey, now, baby.
What are you talking about?
Well, I just feel so giddy thinking that we'll be leaving for Seattle in a few days.
On Monday, I think our tickets call for us to leave, and we're going by train, Calvin.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
You're not flying?
No. We thought it might be nice to take a leisurely trip by train to the coast.
Yes, we thought it would be nice to get to see the country, and also it would give us an opportunity to learn our lines. So by the time we get to Seattle, we'll be able to enjoy salmon and won't have to stay home and read our lines.
Some of them
Enjoy what?
crabs, too.
Salmon.
Those what? Dungeness crabs. Don't they get those out that way?
Oh, they're so delicious.
Yes, and those, I'm trying to think, those gooey ducks.
Chocolate-covered peanuts?
They have gooey ducks in Seattle.
What is that exactly? I've heard it's some kind of a seafood, isn't it?
It's a clam, you can't believe the size of it. It's about a 4-pound clam.
Wow. Makes me sick to think of it.
Well, I don't think we'll bother with the gooey ducks while we're there.
But we will be able to see some of the countryside along the way and learn our lines, as you say. I'll bet a lot of the country has changed since we last traveled, Mary.
Oh, yes, the buffalo have been almost wiped out, you know, the bison.
I know they have. Well, let's get to the cliffhanger because
Mary,
this episode is nearly over.
Mary, are you going to take this dining room table with you?
No, we're not taking any furniture with us, Calvin. We won't be there for forever,
What
you
in
know.
the world would we take the dining room table with us for?
Well, it's a nice one, and, you can seat the 6 of us around there comfortably.
Well, you can go to a restaurant while we're in Seattle. What are you going over in the corner for, Pop? You going to dance a little bit?
Hey, I might just do that.
Let's all watch Pop dance.
Give me a handful of that sand there. Let me spread it around the linoleum.
I'll go get the vacuum so we can clean up after you through there.
Backstages? Telegram.
Wait a minute. A telegram?
Telegram.
Good news or bad?
I don't know. You'll have to read it yourself. I can't make head or tail of it.
Let me see. Hate to get telegrams.
Well, don't tear it into shreds. Just read it.
Mary, look at this.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
So on the eve of their departure for Seattle, a telegram arrives and seems to stir the concern of Mary and Harry. Be sure and join us on Monday when we'll hear Greg Marlowe, young playwright secretly in love with Mary, say,
Oh, my.
in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.